Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever felt that something was different in a big concert? Not because of the grand stage, not because of the songs being performed, but because of the small moments that are almost invisible, yet feel so deeply meaningful? Tonight in El Paso, in the middle of a sea of lights and the roar of thousands of voices, there was something quietly stealing the spotlight. Not something dramatic or intentionally shown, but a simple, natural, and very real closeness between Jimin and Jungkook. Amid the chaos of the stadium, the two of them seemed to create their own little world. Glances that found each other effortlessly, steps that naturally drew closer without planning, and brief touches that felt warm. Everything happened so subtly. And that's exactly where the beauty lies. In this video, we'll take a closer look at those small moments, details that might be missed, yet carry such deep meaning. So make sure to watch until the end, because there are some funny, sweet, and unexpected moments that will definitely make you smile. That night, the atmosphere felt different, softer, calmer, as if time itself slowed down to make space for the little things that usually go unnoticed. Under the shimmering lights and the echoing cheers, Jimin and Jungkook stood close to each other. But their closeness wasn't just physical. There was something deeper, a silent language only they understood. A connection that didn't need words, yet felt undeniably real. In the middle of such a massive crowd, they seemed to build their own space, quiet within the noise, warm within the crowd, and meaningful without needing explanation. There's always a familiar pattern, yet it never feels repetitive, the way they look for each other. Without obvious movements or visible effort, their eyes almost always meet before anyone else even notices. Amid the bright stage lights and the unwavering energy of the audience, a single brief glance was enough to say so much. A simple smile turned into a complete language, bringing comfort, offering reassurance, as if saying that in the middle of all the noise, they still found each other. They were like two magnetic poles that could never truly stay apart. There's an invisible pull that's always there. Jungkook's soft gaze seems to have a clear direction, always returning to the same point, Jimin. And Jimin, with his signature warmth, responds with a sincere smile that feels like home. In that small exchange, there's a sense of peace that's hard to explain, yet easy to feel for anyone watching. There are no grand gestures, no dramatic actions meant to stand out. The beauty lies in the simplest things. Small steps that unconsciously bring them closer, standing positions that always end up side by side, or shoulders brushing as if distance no longer matters. Everything feels natural, unforced, as if their togetherness simply exists. Their closeness lives in small details that are often overlooked. Glances that linger just a little longer, reflexive movements to get closer, and each other's presence feeling like the safest place in the middle of a packed stadium. Among thousands of people, sounds, and lights, they still find the same point, each other. That night, their chemistry wasn't just visible, it was truly felt. There was warmth flowing without sound, a calmness that appeared without being asked. Two souls who, in the middle of the chaos, kept finding their way back, to be each other's home without needing to explain how or why. And maybe that's where the beauty lies. Not in what is clearly seen, but in what is quietly felt. In the small things that aren't always captured on camera, yet leave a lasting impression. Amid that warm atmosphere, there was one moment that stood out because of its adorable spontaneity. When Namjoon had already positioned himself neatly, as if everything would go according to formation, that's when Jimin and Jungkook's little, sly move appeared. In a way that was almost unnoticed, without any obvious motion, they still managed to sit next to each other. As if it wasn't a sudden decision, but a natural habit that happens far too often to be called coincidence. That moment felt light and funny. Simple, yet so characteristic. Like puzzle pieces that always find their place without needing guidance. Something that makes you smile without even realizing it. Not long after, fans' attention shifted to another detail that was just as interesting. When Jimin showed the moon tattoo on his back, there was a quick reaction that instantly stole the focus. A hand movement that appeared so spontaneously, and many believe it was Jungkook. It felt like a reflex, natural, as if his body responded before his mind did. The moment lasted only a second, almost like a flash, yet it left a strong impression. Reactions poured in, filled with curiosity and excitement. There's something about witnessing a moment that happens so quickly, yet lingers. That's where their familiarity shows. It's not something exaggerated or performed. It's a comfort that naturally erases boundaries. Each other's presence feels so natural that even the smallest gestures carry meaning. Interestingly, there seems to be a pattern. Every time Jimin sees the moon while he's with Jungkook, there's always an urge to show that tattoo. A simple gesture, yet deeply personal. What's funny is the way he shows it, often a bit awkward, slightly bending over as if trying too hard, even though he really doesn't need to. But that's exactly the charm. Spontaneous, honest, and real. Not perfect, not planned, but genuine. And in that same moment, Jungkook casually reaches out, touching Jimin's back in such a natural way. No hesitation, no pause, just a light touch that feels warm and comforting. This small interaction might seem ordinary, but for those who notice, there's a depth that's hard to explain. What makes it even more fascinating is how the two of them seem completely immersed in their own world. Amid the cheers, lights, and thousands of eyes watching, there's still a small space that belongs only to them. A space where jokes feel lighter, glances feel deeper, and every simple gesture carries more meaning. It's hard not to be captivated by a dynamic like this. How two people who are almost always together can still find so many little things to share. Still laugh at simple moments, still look for each other in the crowd, still create moments that feel new even when they repeat. There's a warmth that feels sincere. Not something created for others to see, but something that naturally exists, without effort, without pressure. And maybe that's exactly why it feels so special. Because in the end, what stays with us isn't the big, perfectly planned moments, but the small details that just happen, quietly, simply, yet full of meaning. And those are some of the moments that may seem small, but leave the deepest impression. From brief glances, coincidentally, sitting side by side, to small interactions that feel so natural, everything reflects a closeness that doesn't need many words to be understood. Sometimes, it's not the big moments we remember most, but the simple things that happen without planning. And among thousands of voices and dazzling lights, Jimin and Jungkook once again show that they always find each other, in the simplest, yet most meaningful ways. If you feel the same way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more Jikook moments. See you in the next video.